It's time for the Scott Buening Show. Learn all about Southridge Raider football. This week's show is sponsored by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Grossman Communications. Go Raiders!
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
And welcome to the Scott Buening Show. Coach, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I appreciate you having us and what you're doing here.
And I'll tell you what, Southridge sports in general is just doing really well right now. And when you think of last year's team, you think of the name Taylor, Gasser, Lauderdale, just to name a few. 13-1, PAC Small Division champions. What do you guys got coming back this year?
Well, it's I'll be honest, it's what we love about high school football is, there's no trades, there's no free agents, there's no there's none of that stuff. And you get a few years with these guys, and then we always believe graduation's a healthy thing. Group like last year, that senior class across the board just had tremendous success, and I don't care what sport you talk about, they were just a successful group, and we're gonna miss those guys, but we're looking forward to the group we have, and pardon me, we've got a lot of good kids, a lot of guys that have worked real hard, a lot of guys that have sat behind some really good players, and and so it's always exciting, and it's been fun this summer, trying to just working with these guys, and as we try to find an identity and roles and depth and all those kind of things, and that's something that especially with young people, it's a lot of fun watching them grow, watching them mature, watching them make mistakes, watch them respond from those mistakes and those kind of things. So we don't have a lot on paper coming back, but we are excited about the group we have.
And I'll tell you what, it must be a theme. We just got done recording the Shelley Loninger show for Lagodi, and I know Lagodi girls were good last year, and the Southridge boys were equally as good last year. So it must be a theme today.
Well, I tell you, there's you just look at this area in general and the amount of success that just teams have had. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I coached softball for 1 year a couple of years ago, and how good softball is down here is just crazy. And and you look at basketball. I mean, you can just go down the list, and boys, girls, whatever. I mean, you've got to be on point down here. There's too many good teams, too many good programs, coaches, players. I mean, it's I tell you what, it's quite a challenge down here.
It's fun to watch, and thank God we don't have just one high school in Du Bois County, because there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of good teams, so out of the four schools.
Yeah, no doubt. And This county's special. And I know that's. But I mean, you look at, just baseball, for example, Jasper, Southridge last year. But, you can look at Forest Park, and the success they've had. And I went to a high school much like Northeast Du Bois, and I love that when I coached track, I love competing against them. They have, such, just the community pride and just that sense of small school and just, the thing. It's tremendous. And to have all that in one county is, man, I tell you, it's a lot of fun. Well, I wouldn't say it's always a lot of fun because it's very challenging, but ultimately it is a lot of fun and pretty cool that, we grow up, that we live in a county like this that has, 4 corporations that take so much pride in what they do.
And I'll tell you what, I hate to date myself, but, back in the one class sectional, when it was at Southridge, it was a pretty special event. But also, there was always one unlucky school, but I always call them unlucky, with the 4 county schools. But it was a great event.
That I've seen pictures of that sectional, and good Lord, I mean that's I've never seen anything like it. And and back in the single class system, I was a basketball player, not a good one, but did play basketball in high school. And the thing that I loved and always in our whole team and our whole community looked forward to, we went to Greensburg High School, was where our sectional was, and it was very similar. I mean, hard to find a ticket. Place was packed. You had all your community schools together. I understand why we've made the changes we have, but it's okay to also turn around and appreciate what we all got to experience back then.
And we'll be back on the Scott Buening Show to talk about the Perry Central scrimmage right after this.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
And we're back on the Scott Buening Show. Scott, to open the season, well, I guess it's not really opening the season. Before the season opens, you scrimmaged Perry Central. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's that scrimmage has really been a good scrimmage for us. I'm not sure how long we've scrimmaged them. We've scrimmaged them all 9 years that I've been here, and both, there's not a natural rivalry there, and it kind of makes it nice that you go in and you're able to keep your ego out of it a little bit, and there's always some testosterone going when you play and compete, but we're able to keep it. I think both schools are able to use it for what it's worth, and what really the value comes in the scrimmage. We really we use it for a couple different things. We want to get, obviously we're trying to continue to time up our what we anticipate to be our first group, and then but we're very much, and we rotate kids quite a bit in our scrimmage, and we're really trying to find depth in the scrimmage, and this year is as much as any. We have more turnover, I would say, this year than we have in any of the years that I've been here. So, as we're trying to, figure out how to use our kids' strengths, what roles they fit in, as much as anything, we're trying to find depth in our team and finding out who those guys can be. And it's hard to do it, here in practice. That gives you an idea and at least points us in a direction. But we need these kind of scenarios, put our kids in to see how they respond. Overall, felt like it was a productive scrimmage. I felt like we did some things well, did some things we need to do better. But overall, both teams got out of it healthy. I think that's the number one thing everybody wants to do. But then it got a lot of valuable film, got a lot of valuable evaluation, and it really helps you, jump into that next week and know what you need to work on, and then give you again more of a better idea of who your people are, and and we don't ever stop that evaluation. We're always looking and always, as I tell our parents in our parent meeting every year, we want to play as many of these kids as we possibly can. One of the worst things we can do, however, is put a kid in a situation that he's not ready for. That's not good in the short term. That's not good in the long term. But if they show they can play, we're going to use them, and we're going to try to find ways to use them as much as we can. So we're getting there. I still think it'll take us a few weeks to shake out some of that, but it was a productive night.
And, Scott, before we preview the Linton-Stockton game, the PAC small division, who do you think some of the teams to look out for in that this year?
That's a great question. It's last year with COVID and everything else, weeks in and weeks out, you didn't always know who you were playing. You generally knew what team you were playing. You just weren't sure what team they were going to have. And as we go into this year, I think we're still going to be looking at that kind of stuff. But I think, on paper, I feel like we should be competitive. I feel like, North Posey, Forest Park, are two teams that I think are going to be a factor in the PAC race this year. I think South Spencer is getting better. I think their new coach is doing a good. This is his second year, but last year, really none of those guys who are new really got much of an opportunity, to really get in and work with their kids. Tell City, I think. Coach Webb down there has done a really good job, and I know they graduated a ton of kids too, but I think they're going to be competitive. I think he's doing a lot of good things over there. And so you look at those groups and look at these teams. I mean, I think it's going to be probably as interesting of a PAC race as we've seen in quite some time, and I think it's going to be very competitive. I think week in and week out, there's opportunities for teams there to do well. So, I think when it all shakes out at the end of the year, it'll be real interesting to see where the teams stack up.
Yeah, the PAC should be quite interesting this year.
Yeah, and even if you look at the big school race, you look at Gibson Southern. I think on paper most people would put towards the top, but Heritage Hills is always going to have something to say about that. Regardless, they were a young team last year, went through some growing pains, felt a lot of the COVID pain last year, which is tough. Regardless of what kind of team you had, they're going to be much improved. Mount Vernon is, I think, they're one who could surprise some people. We played them in the sectional last year, and they've got some real young quality kids who can really play. And I think it'll be interesting with them. And then Boonville too. I know they graduated the Mockabee kid, but they've got some guys coming back, and I think they're going to be a much more balanced team. And I think Gibson Southern is going to be a tough out, but I think you look at Heritage Hills, Mount Vernon, and Boonville. That's going to be pretty competitive, I think, with that group.
It sounds like it's going to be interesting even in the bigger division. So, and we'll be back to preview the Linton-Stockton game after this word from our sponsors.
Wanting to scan those old videos, films, or audio to DVD? We'll look no further than Milligan Communications. We can also scan your old pictures, slides, and negatives to picture quality as well. With thousands of happy customers, let Milligan Communications help put your treasured memories on a digital media. Call Milligan Communications today at 812-630-2449. Milligan Communications, capturing your yesterdays.
You dream it, we create it at Street Dreams. Custom paint, fabrication, stereos, wheels, tires, and more. We're also your authorized Sinister Sound dealer. Street Dreams, 317-624-1000, where you expect quality and get.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
And welcome back to the Scott Buening Show. Scott, you've got Linton Stockton to open up. Why don't we go over that game a little bit?
Yeah, Linton Stockton, they had a group last year. They were turning over a lot of kids from the year before, and they've got virtually their entire team back from last year. They've got this Anslinger kid who he's one of the better players in this area. The kid is tremendous. He's big, strong, fast, athletic. He was a stud, honestly, as a junior last year, and we had a hard time with him. And I think they really kind of found themselves as the year went on. They changed quarterbacks, and the Jennings kid is back this year. He's a junior. He's another big, strong kid, and he adds an element that we've not seen too much from Linton in the past. He can throw the ball well. He's a good runner. He's a good passer. They've got receivers. I think, we've really seen an evolution in their program, in going from, under center, tight end, wing backs, very run heavy, to where they're making a conceded effort to be a lot more balanced as an offense, and which is something that about 5-6 years ago, we kind of did the same thing. And that's, one of the things by playing a tough schedule, you find out that, where you need to develop and grow and what you need to do. And I think the things that they've done that we've seen on film from the scrimmage, they've got really good players running a more diverse scheme that I think is going to cause a lot of challenges. I really feel like they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams on our schedule this year. They're, like I said, they're very good. I think they're going to challenge Mater Dei in the sectional. Mater Dei is really good this year, and they really they don't have a lot of weaknesses. They're fast, they're strong, they're athletic. They've got big kids. They're experienced. They really bring a lot of things to the table. So we don't have a lot of time to find ourselves. We're going to need to find ourselves quickly to be competitive in this game and give ourselves a chance to win.
And, one thing that all successful programs do, it seems like there's longevity in coaches. And I think Coach Winkler's been there for about 50 years, 60 years.
Yeah, probably. I'd say that's pretty close. I think I have to ask him this all the time. I keep forgetting. It's either 46 or 47, but I think to a lot of people it does probably feel more like 60. So he sure has, and that's a pretty incredible story on that end.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I know you've got other coaches that haven't been there quite as long as Wink, but other coaches, and that's a great thing to be able to have. That's the kind of longevity.
Well, I've said this numerous times. Our program has been to the state finals 4 times, and it's been under 4 different head coaches, and that's not the common thread. You look at the continuity that our program has had from community to coaches, assistant coaches. We've got a lot of guys who are Southridge guys who grew up in this program, love this program. Coach from Brad O'Hanian, we've got Gage Fetter, Mitchell Mundy have joined our staff this year, which are guys that I coached early when I got here, and we think the world of. We've got James Hope has come back, and he's just been a tremendous addition to our staff. And then you look at the Steve Rust, the Steve Winklers, the Riley Schweppes, the Chad Wortmans, all those guys. We also picked up Southridge, I guess an adopted Southridge player. Kyle Lotharp is his name. He played football at St. Joe's and married Morgan Meyer, who was a celebrated athlete, thrower here. He's just been a great pickup. And, you could go down the list of guys that have been around here forever and eat it, sleep it, drink it, bleed it, you name it. And no doubt that carries over to our kids. And we're very, very thankful to have the group we do here.
It's always great to have that kind of group. And you just mentioned a lot of names that are very familiar to people. So, and
no kidding.
And Coach, before we end the show, I'd just like to wish you luck against Linton, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, that sounds great. Looking forward to it.
And you've been listening to the Scott Buening Show. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to the Scott Buening Show. Join us every week to learn more about Southridge Raider football. This week's show has been brought to you by Milligan Communications, Street Dreams, and the Southwestern Indiana Sports Network, powered by Milligan Brosmer Communications. See you next week.